Hi friends, and welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. Today I have a special collaboration with my sweet friend Jackie. I'll let you know more about that in a few minutes, but first of all, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Brenda and this is my sweet Oliver, and we are so happy you are here today. And if you're returning, you know we love you. So with all that being said, let's get to crafting. Okay, here's DIY number 1. So for this DIY, I created this decal with my Cricut. I am going to use some of these, I was going to use some of these giant craft sticks, but I switched them out. I'm going to use some of this Burlap from Dollar Tree, my Waverly chalk paints in the color white, and Maize, and then this is a 14-inch wood round that I recently got from Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to start off by marking, I think I did 3.5 and 8.5, something like that. I'm inches from the top and the bottom, or from the top. And then I'm taking my square ruler here and I am just making my lines. And then I'm going to tape it off with some painter's tape. And I am going to paint that middle part with my Waverly chalk paint in the color white. And then once it was all dried, I moved the tape and painted the top and the bottom part with that Maize color. After everything was dry, I took my decal here and I'm just making sure it's even where it needs to be, and I am going to place it right there in the middle in the white section. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to take that burlap, I cut it down to the size I needed, and I'm just going to hot glue it all along the bottom part of my wood round, and just making sure I pull so that it's tight. And then once I was done hot gluing on the front, I just turned it around and I am going to hot glue it to the back. And then I took some of these little bamboo reed sticks that I get off of Amazon, and I am cutting them down to fit. And then I painted them with my Waverly chalk paint in the color ink. And then once they were all dry, I took my hot glue and I am just going to glue them in place. And you guys, I think out of all of these that I made, this one is my very favorite of all these projects. So after that, I took some burlap here and I didn't measure it, guys. It was maybe 8-10 inches, but I just folded in half like that and put my fingers in the middle and scrunched it up. You'll see it again, I think. Then I took some of these ribbons. These were cut down to, oh my goodness, I think 6 inches. I'm dovetailing the ends of them. And then I scrunched up that burlap to look like a bow again. And then I'm taking the buffalo check, and I struggled getting it in between my fingers. So I'm trying to scrunch it and have it at a diagonal. And then I'm going to put the next one at an opposite diagonal and just scrunching it in between my fingers. Then I'm taking the yellow and scrunching it and having it go horizontal. And then I don't know what I was doing. I'm going to take the other yellow and I'm just kind of doing that again, but at a little bit more of an angle. And then I'm going to add that last burlap one on the top just for a little extra texture. And then after that, I'm taking some twine and tying it all together. This is a different bow I watched. Oh, if I can remember, I'll try and have the link to the bow tutorial that I watched to do that. So after I had that bow all put together, I took some eucalyptus, some boxwood greenery, and I'm just putting them together like you see there. And then I'm taking some sunflowers. The sunflowers came from Dollar Tree. I don't know where I got the eucalyptus, but of course the boxwood comes from Walmart. I put them all together, and then I'm using a zip tie to tie them all together. Now, if I would have been thinking ahead of time, I would have added my bow to this as well. But after I got it all tied, I'm like, I should have added my bow. But anyways, that's okay. I can still make it work. So after I have everything placed where it's needed, I tighten that zip tie and then I cut off the excess. Then I remembered before I put everything on to put holes. So I used my crocodile to put some holes for the hangers. And then I decided to use some of these zip ties to tie it. I went through those holes and I am attaching these the greenery with those zip ties. And then I'll trim them off just like I did on the florals there. After that, I took another zip tie and I just went around my bow and I tied it to the florals. And then I took some bees and I just went around the board and added a few bees, and there it is. I absolutely love this. You will have to let me know what you think about this in the comment box below. Okay, today is the Sweet Lemon Kisses and Honeybee Wishes, and it is with my good friend Jackie with Crafting in Mimi's World. We thought it would be fun to come together and do some bee and lemon themed DIYs for you. If you don't know who Jackie is, which I highly doubt, she is amazing. Check out her channel. I'll have links to her channel and her video in my description box below. Okay, so here's DIY number 2. So for this DIY, I'm going to use my Waverly chalk paints in the color Maize and Ink. I'm going to use some of these mini little pots. I got these from Hobby Lobby. They are the cutest things ever. And then I'm going to use some of these pots. These came from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use, and those are the bigger ones, not the little ones, because Dollar Tree has 2 different sizes. That floral foam from Dollar Tree, these daisies from Dollar Tree, some of this twine here that I get from Amazon, and then one of those aluminum pans. Now, I forgot to mention, you guys, both Jackie and I are doing 10 DIYs, so this is going to be a little longer video than normal. So I started off by painting all of those pots with my maize color. After they were dry, I took my ink color and I'm going to paint the rim of that pot. And as you see, I did tape it off a little bit there so that I could paint stripes on it. I also went with my ink chalk paint and I'm coloring the top part of each of those little ones. After that, I went ahead and painted in between the painter's tape there so that I would have 3 little stripes. Then I took the pot that didn't have the stripes and I'm using my pencil to draw in a face. Now I am kind of cheating. I'm going off of some faces I saw on Pinterest, and I am just trying to go with that because you know me, I'm not that good of a drawer. Then I just highlighted everything with my black markers, and then I'm going to color it in with some of my paint markers. Now, if you guys have been with me for a while, you might remember I did something like this fall for Scarecrow, and I absolutely love that Scarecrow, you guys. Every time I saw it, it just made me so happy. So I thought, you know what? Why not make one into a bee? So that's why I did this one too, and I think I love this one just as much. So after I had everything colored in, I took my white paint marker and made a few dots in the eyes to just kind of bring it to life. Then I'm using my E6000 and a little bit of hot glue here, and I'm going to attach the face to the bottom part of the bee. Then I took the twine and I'm threading it through the little holes that are in there. And if you need to use tape on the end of your twine, that's always a good idea. I do that. And then I tied a knot on it, and then I just pulled it up to what length I wanted and trimmed it. And then I'm hot gluing these. These are the arms to the top by the head. And then I did the same thing with the legs, but I made the legs the rope or the twine a little longer. And then I hot glued them to the bottom part of that pot. Then I just added my floral foam inside, and I cut down some of these daisies, and I'm going to add them to the floral foam so they have flowers growing out of the head. Because, you know, bees have to have flowers, right? Then I remembered, oh my goodness, I got to make the wings. So I took a pin and I just made like a teardrop shape on that aluminum pan, and I cut out 2 wings, and I'm just trimming this up here. And then after that, I paint them both sides with my maize, and I did 2 coats. After that, I'm just going to hot glue these to the back. And last year I did a pot that kind of looks like a bee too. I'll try and have a link to that. That was really cute. It's one of my favorites. And there it is. I love it. I just think it's adorable. You'll have to let me know what you think about this one as well. Okay, here's DIY number 3. So on this DIY, I'm going to use some of my Chalk Couture stuff. But first, I'm going to use my Waverly chalk paint in the color white. I'm going to use my Chalk Couture paste in the colors Pesto, Shimmer Harvest, and Bumblebee. I figured Bumblebee was a good color to use, right? And then I used 2 of these tags that I've had in my stash from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use this transfer set. This is called Peaceful Gardens. And then I'm going to use the next one here. And this I think is called 4 Farmhouse Shapes or Designs, something like that. Patterns. I knew it was something like that. Anyways, so once I have that all done, I took those tags and I am painting the back side of the tags because I didn't want to spend an hour, not really an hour, but 10, 15 minutes trying to get all that paper off the front. So after it was painted and dried, I traced out where I wanted to lay them. And then I am fuzzing this transfer here. Now the flower I've used before, so I didn't have to fuzz it, but I kind of was trying to lay them out and trying to place them where I wanted them. And I decided I didn't want that at an angle, although I think it would have been really cute if I would have left it at an angle. But I got my flower placed, and then I'm using the Shimmer Harvest for the flower here. And then I'm going to use the Pesto for the stem and the leaves. But before I do the stem and the leaves, I'm going to pull that up and then lightly lay it down so that way the paste doesn't stick to that screen print or silk screen, because if you take too long, it will dry and stick, and then it comes up when you pull it up. After I had that done, I did the bees, and I'm just using my Bumblebee color here to go over the bees. Now, I kind of wish I would have used that Shimmer Harvest color. I think that might have been a little bit better because this just seemed kind of bright for bees, but that's okay. So then I took this. Now, this is really supposed to be chicken wire, but I thought, you know what? It could pass for honeycombs. So I'm trying to place it, trying to see where I want it, because I didn't need it to go where I had outlined it. Because that part's going to be covered. You're not going to see it. So I'm just going to go through with my squeegee here and my paste and just give it all a good covering. And then once I pull that up, there are some spots that I had to place my transfer back down and go over it again. Now, if you're not familiar with Chalk Couture, I am a designer. I do have a link for it in my description box below. And I am more than happy to answer any questions that you might have regarding Chalk Couture. And I'll talk about it a little bit more later. So here I decided, okay, I want to color in some of the honeycombs to make this look more like a honeycomb. So I took that Shimmer Harvest and a paintbrush, and I'm just going around and coloring it in. After that, I took some of my black velvet chalk paste and a paintbrush, and I am coloring in where it would have been black on the bees. Now, I did think about painting the sign black, and I think that would have been better because of the bees, but it is what it is, and I think it turned out just fine. After those were all dry, I took my wood glue and hot glue, and I'm placing it right where I want to lay that top part, and I'm making sure that the holes are in line, and then I glue it together. And then I took some of this twine that I get from Amazon. It is in my Amazon store if you're interested in it. And I'm just going to go around both of those tag signs and hot glue it all the way around the edge. I just feel like it gives it a nice finished look, because sometimes these MDF signs from Dollar Tree just have really rough edges. And I think this just really makes it look nicer. So after I was all done with that, I took some more of that twine. Actually, I think I took regular twine, and I'm going to make a hanger. I thread it through both those holes, tied a knot in the back, and then I took some of these beads I got from Amazon, and I am just adding them to my hanger. And then I'm going to make a loop. Now, I'm not sure if I make the loop right or not, but it seemed to work. And I just made a loop and then went around and wrapped my tail and then kind of made a knot at the end. Although I do notice that it does move around, so I need to figure out how to keep it from moving. Then I made a bow here and just tied it or hot glued it to the front. And then I used some packaging paper or craft paper, shipping paper, whatever you want to call it. And I hot glued it to the back to cover that nasty look. And then I covered all of it with Mod Podge to help protect that chalk paste so that it doesn't come off. And there it is. You have to tell me what you think about it. I think it came out really pretty. But let me know what you think in the description box below. Okay, I want to take this moment to thank all my wonderful subscribers. You guys mean the world to me. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you are enjoying today's video and you like home decor on a budget, then please give me that thumbs up. Comment. Subscribe before you go, and then comment and give me that thumbs up and watch those ads. And if you want to support my channel, you can buy me a coffee, or you can also follow me on my social media accounts. I will have links to all of those in my description box below. Okay, so DIY number 4. So this one is super easy, you guys. I got these last spring from Hobby Lobby, and then I have these bees that I bought from Amazon. I'm going to use my Folk Art acrylic paint in the color Starlight Gold, and then I got this off of Cricut Design Space, and then I believe I got this jar this fall at Walmart in their $5, $1 section, whatever it's called. So I started off by painting it with that gold, but it would have taken like 3 or 4 coats. So I ended up painting it white and then painting it again with that gold to, so I didn't have to put so many layers of that gold on there. Once it was all dry, I added my decal, and then I took some burlap, I cut it down to size, and I'm just going to hot glue it to the top here. Once I was done with that, I took my honey daubers and I took this, this is gold glitter glue, and or hot glue, and I'm just making a big puddle, and then I'm going to add my honey dauber. And then I'm going to go over my honey dauber with that glue to make it look like honey. And I was going to hot glue the handles to the jar there, but when I went to go add the hot glue, they weren't going to move. That stuff is on there. Then I decided to make some drips. So I'm just making some drips with that honey color hot glue. And then I kind of go along the top of it as well. And then I'm just adding some bees to my honey daubers. And I think I add 1 or 2 just to the sign as well. I really went crazy with those bees. And I made a little bow, hot glued it to the top, and added a bee, and there it is. I really love this one too. You have to let me know what you think about this one as well. Okay, DIY number 5. Whew, halfway there, guys. Okay, so for this DIY, I'm going to use my Waverly chalk paint in the color Maize. I'm going to use this beautiful napkin I got from decoupagenapkin.com. Some of these Scrabble tiles, letters that I got from Amazon. This sign I got from Dollar Tree, and I was trying to see if it was going to come apart before I started filming, and I pushed it apart. So it's really easy. You just push from the middle and it comes right out. So I just soaked it in water. And then I use my paint scraper to get all that paper off. But the longer you let it soak, the easier it comes off. After it was all off, I painted both of those pieces with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Maize. And then once it was dry, I went over this piece with my Mod Podge, and then I set it aside to let it dry. Once it was dry, I'm tracing out this napkin. And then I'm going to cut it out so that it fits on top of that hexagon. And then I'm taking the 2 plies off of it. And I'm going to lay it in place here, get it right where I want it. And then I'm going to take my parchment paper. This is normal parchment paper you would use in your kitchen. Put it over on top and use my heat press to reactivate that Mod Podge and get the napkin to stay on there without any bubbles. Now, if you don't have one of these mini presses, I've heard you can use a regular iron as long as there's no steam. So then once I was done, I started covering it with Mod Podge to help protect that napkin. And as you can see, it started bubbling up on the top there. And I was like, I don't know why it did that. But once I was done with it, I let it dry. And then I went ahead and took my parchment paper again and just ironed out that wrinkle. And it pretty much, I mean, there's a little bit there, but you really couldn't see much of it. After that, I took my finger sander and I sanded off all that extra napkin that was hanging on the edge. And then I'm going to hot glue it, the top part of it, to the napkin piece there. Once I was done, I laid my Scrabble tiles in the order that I wanted them, and I'm just going to hot glue them in place. And after I had those hot glued, I decided to grab some more of these bees. I tell you guys, I was going crazy with these little bees. I love them. I think they're so cute. And if you're lucky, you might be able to find some at Dollar Tree, because I know they've had some this year. So then I took some of these ribbons. Now I cut these down to 4 inches, and I am just doing crisscrosses on them. And I'm just layering them, alternating each one just like you see there. And then once I have them all on there, and I think I did 4 of each, I'm going to take some twine and wrap it around. I'm just making a fussy bow. I made, you guys, I'm so proud of myself. I made several different kinds of bows on this video. I'm so proud of myself. And I'm tying that twine around. And then after that, I am going to hot glue it to my sign. Now, if you make a fussy bow, you can always cut the ends of those at an angle or dovetail them too. I decided to leave them squared. But then I added a bee to the middle of it, and I felt like that one dab of hot glue in the middle wasn't going to be enough, so I'm going to hot glue some of the bottom pieces of ribbon to the sign. Then I took some of these daisies. I got a big package of these from Amazon last year, and I hot glued them to the bottom, and that's all there was for that one. I really love this one too. I love my bee themed ones this year, or this video. You have to let me know what you think as well. Okay, I want to tell you about this purse that I recently received from the company Teddy Blake. It is beautiful. I just love it. And look at the box it came in. This box, I tell you what, it was amazing. And when I opened it up, it was wrapped in that bubble wrap and then in that beautiful bag. But this purse is Italian leather, you guys. It is beautiful. And I look at these, I'm sorry, it was hard to record this and hold the phone and show you this, but look how those little straps come off to open it. It was so amazing. It took me a minute to figure it out, but it comes with a strap, so if you want to have it longer, and then it has like a pocket, an open pocket there where you can put your cell phone. It has another pocket, a zippered pocket here for, makeup or hand sanitizer, that kind of stuff. And it also has a zippered pocket in the back. If you are interested, I will have links to them in my description box. You can use my description code there if you're interested in buying. I know they are a little expensive, but that's a great discount. And then there it is with the strap there. But let me tell you about the company a little bit. With a team of Italian designers pitched from well-known luxury brands, Teddy Blake creates handbag designs for every style choice. Their designers work very hard to develop new, unique designs while also trying to keep the price point at affordable levels. Enjoy the luxury feel and smell of real leather, as all Teddy Blake bags are made with luxurious leather from Italy's finest pelletries, dyed and treated to withstand the test of time and maintain a luxurious look. I can't talk today. Working in the same Italian factories as other luxurious brands and following the knowledge gathered from decades of experience in the luxury leather, their laborers will turn a Teddy Blake bag into a work of art. And you guys, these guys are amazing. Their stuff is beautiful. They have all kinds of different colors. So make sure and styles. So make sure you check out the links in my description box to check them out. Okay, so here we go. DIY number 6. On to the lemon DIYs. So I'm going to start off with my Waverly chalk paint in the color white. I am going to use these handles that I bought off of Amazon. Some of these IOD transfers that are just beautiful. And then this is a 16-inch round tray I got in the spring section of Hobby Lobby, which of course is 40% off. So I'm going to start off by painting the tray with my white color there. And then after that, I cut out the different images that I wanted, and I laid them all out to where I wanted them placed. And then I removed the backing, laid this one down, and I'm using, it comes with a little acrylic rubber thing. I don't know what you call it. It's to rub it. Once I was done rubbing, I just start lifting that clear sheet, and then if I saw anything starting to pull up, I would just place it back down, rub a little bit more, and then keep pulling. And you guys, this really was pretty fast. I mean, I probably rubbed more than I really needed to, but I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to pull up. But it works really nicely. And I think this is my second time of using an IOD transfer. And their transfers are beautiful, although I do know they are a little expensive. But once I was done with that, I took some of the maize color. I decided there was too much white, so I went over the edge part of my tray and painted it with my maize. After it was all dry, I took my varnish by Waverly, and I'm just going over the rub-on transfers here. Now, I do this to protect the transfers so there's no rubbing off or anything like that. And I don't believe this is food safe, so my tray is for decorative purposes only, not going to put any kind of food on it. So if you ever use the varnish, just be aware of that. And once that was all dry, then it was time to add my handles, which, you guys, this is super easy DIY. I took my husband's drill and I'm just adding the handles, and that's all there was for this one. I think it came out looking beautiful. You'll have to let me know what you think about this one as well. Okay, on to DIY number 7. So for this DIY, I'm going to use my football wreath form, and then I end up using almost 3 of these. They're poly ropes from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to start off by hot gluing the end of that poly rope to the piece of poly rope, wrap it around that football edge, and then glue it together. Then I cut it down some to make it easier to wrap, and I just started wrapping. Now, this was a little tricky. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to wrap this. So I started wrapping just at the edge, and then I started wrapping, I believe, up to 4 of the metal bars. And I do this all the way around one side of my football. And this did take a little while. As you can see out of my TV remote there, I was watching Little House on the Prairie. and I wrapped and I wrapped and I wrapped. And when I got to the end of this, as you can see, I was counting. I think there was 4. It was either 3 or 4. But I just continued doing this. Now, when I was getting close to the other end of the football, I did have to use my hot glue a little bit to keep it glued together. But once I reach the end of this, I'm just going to hot glue this to the inside of the football frame there. And then I will start by another strip by just hot gluing it right next to that and then wrapping some more. So then when I got to the other side, I realized if I did it the same way, I was going to have a big gap in the middle. So instead, I wrapped the end like I did, and then when it started getting wider, I started just wrapping 3 of the bars there, and then I put tape on the end of my rope, and I would go in between the rope from the other side, just like you see me there. I thread it through, and then I'd wrap it, and then I would go only over 3, and then I would go over the 4 by threading the end of the rope through the rope that's already on the other side. Hopefully that all makes sense. I'm sure you can see what I'm doing to help. Sometimes it's hard to know how to explain these things. But once I got this done, I kind of actually liked the way this looked better. So if you want to recreate it, I would suggest doing it that way through the whole thing. I liked the way it looked. After that, I took some burlap and I cut it down, and I'm just folding the end inside, and then I'm hot gluing where it folds to the inside of my lemon. It's now a lemon, you guys. I thought, hey, this might look like a lemon. And after I got it wrapped, I'm like, now what do I do with it? So then I thought, okay, let's make this into a planter. So after I got to the other end, I'm just tucking, like I said, tucking and hot gluing, just so that it has a nice finished edge. And you'll have a little bit of a gap just because of the shape of the football. Unless you are get better than me and like to, make it the exact shape, which I wasn't going to do because I had 10 DIYs to get done in 2 days. That's all my fault, you guys. All my fault. Anyways, I took some floral foam here and I'm hot gluing it to the inside of my lemon basket. And then I'm just taking some boxwood greenery and I'm cutting it down and I'm going to not hot glue it. I'm poking it into all of my floral foam here and I'm just going to go all the way around it. Once I had it all the way around, then I'm going to take some Gerber daisies or big daisies. I don't know what they were, but from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to start adding them in as well. And then there was some of the little, I think they're just called greenery picks from Dollar Tree that I added to. But these little lemons, I got these from Hobby Lobby. They come in a bag of, I don't know how many, 20 of them or something. And I'm just going to hot glue. Now, if you're lucky, Dollar Tree right now does have some lemons. I saw they have orange and lime lemon on a branch, but they didn't have any lemons at my Dollar Tree, but I know they have some. So if you're lucky, you might find them there too. So then after I had the basket all filled, I took some of this. This is some lemon ribbon. I believe I got this from Dollar Tree a year or so ago, maybe 2 years. And I'm just going to hot glue it all the way around at that top edge. And there it is. And I think it's really cute. A cute little planter made out of a football form and rope. Yeah, let me know what you think about this one as well. Okay, it is a time for a celebration of your recreations. And Amanda was busy. She made all these sweet faith-based signs, and she even made some in memorial for a friend. Then Lynn from Scotland, I believe, made these. I love them, Lynn. Thank you. And then Kathy, I'm going to do some watermelon themes this year. I've never done any. I want to do some, but I love what you did. Thank you, ladies, so much for sharing. And if you have a creation or recreation you would like me to celebrate and showcase, you can email pictures to me to that email address that's listed right there, or you can send them to me through Instagram or Facebook Messenger, and I'd be more than happy to showcase them here for you. I'm tired. Okay, DIY number 8. So for this DIY, I'm going to use some giant craft sticks. I get those from Walmart. I'm going to use my Waverly chalk paint in the color white. I am going to use my COUTURE paste in the color Bumblebee. And then, I'm sorry, I don't remember what the name of this is. I think it's Zest for Life, but I'll look it up and I'll have it in my description box. For those of you who might be new, I always list my description box what I use. And then I'm going to use 3 of these planks from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to start off by, I removed the hangers, I laid these all out, and I'm using my craft sticks here to attach them. And I'm just going to add some wood glue to the back of the, or front, I guess, of the craft sticks, and then hot glue. And then I'm going to put them across the 3 crafts, what do you call them? Planks. Once I was done, I painted it white. And then after it was all dry, I did fill in some of those holes with spackle before I painted it as well. And then I'm going to lay this out. Now, I was going to use this on that round tray, but apparently this was bigger than the round tray. I thought it was going to fit, and it didn't. So I had to think of something else. But that's okay, because I love the way the round tray worked. So I'm going to use my chalk paste, and I'm just going to go over and add it all around this lemon. Now, if you are interested in chalk couture at all, I always recommend the Club Couture. It's $21.99 a month. You get an exclusive 8x11 transfer along with 3 single chalk pastes that coordinate with that transfer. And if you do sign up, you do have to sign up for at least 3 months before you can cancel. But I always think it's a great way to get started and try it out. Plus you get, like I said, an exclusive transfer that you can't get otherwise. It's only there for people who are part of the club. And they have some great transfers, you guys. So if you're interested in, you can find the links in the description box, like I said earlier, under Chalk Couture, or you can always email me. I'd be happy to help you with it. Then I added, this came with that set here, and I am just going to add that saying on as well. As you see, my husband dropped a screw for me. And then after that, I took some of this ribbon. Now this ribbon I got from Sam's Club. They have a whole bunch of ribbon well, they always have ribbon, but for the seasons, but I just loved this lemon ribbon, and there's tons of it. I'm going to have this lemon ribbon for years. I just know it. Anyways, I just did the bow by doing the awareness ribbon, scrunching it up in the middle and tying it with some twine, and then dovetailing the ends. Then I'm going to do the same thing as the previous DIYs, where I took my florals and I'm going to hold them together with my zip tie, and I'm just trying to keep them in place on how I wanted them laying. I realized one of my branches there was not inside it, so I got it all together, and then I thought, ooh, I can add my bow. This time I remembered to add the bow, so I scrunched up my bow even more and added it through before I finished tightening that zip tie, and then I just tightened it all. That way it's all on there. After that, I just hot glued it to the corner of my sign, and then I added a lemon piece right in the middle. These lemon pieces I did get from Amazon last year or the year before. I'll see if they're in my Amazon store. I'll try and make sure they're there. Then I took some beads that I had got from Amazon as well, and I threaded them through a hanger, and then I'm just going to poke that through the holes there that I left, and that's all there was for this one as well. You have to let me know what you think about this one too. Okay, DIY number 9. We're getting close to the end, you guys. Thank you so much to all of you who have stayed this long. So I'm going to use, again, my Waverly chalk paint in the color white and in the color Maize. I'm going to use some of my tumbling tower blocks, 4 of them to be exact. One of these stencils that I got from Essential Stencils, and this paddleboard from Dollar Tree. So I start off by painting the tumbling tower blocks and the paddleboard with my white chalk paint. Then I took my yellow and a stencil brush, and I am just going to go all the way around my stencil. Now, you guys, this is not one of my favorites. I mean, it turned out okay, but I still feel like it's missing something. Maybe you could tell me. Maybe I should have done more than just yellow. I'm wondering if I should have added a different color on those words, because to me it just felt like it needed something more. But this was my very last project that I actually created, and I was exhausted, you guys, because I finished this late last night. And today is the day the video goes live. Anyways, I removed that stencil, and then I remembered I got these from Amazon as well. They're little wood mason jars. They're so cute. And I am using my Arteza paint pins, and I'm coloring them the color of lemonade. And then I use my paint pen in the color silver and tried to color in the top. It's kind of hard to tell though because of the color of those little wood pieces, but if you're close enough you can tell it's got some silver in it. Then I hot glued them to my little board here, and then I went around with my yellow paint marker and I made some stitch lines. And I wish it was a little bit darker. I probably should have done a little darker yellow, but yeah, anyways, it's kind of hard to tell, especially on the view here. I have made another bow with that lemon ribbon and just hot glued it. And then I just added a couple of lemons to the bottom. I'm adding hot gluing 2 tumbling tower blocks together. And then I'm going to hot glue it to the back to make a stand, but it still wasn't enough to keep it standing. So I added 2 more hot tumbling tower blocks, added them together, and then I'm going to hot glue them to the other tumbling tower blocks, and then it stood. So there it is. You'll have to let me know, what else do you think I could have done differently to this one? And I don't know, maybe I was just so tired that I don't know. Anyways, okay. DIY number 10, our final one, you guys. Same kind of thing. I think I was just getting really tired because this one I was just not really thrilled with either. Okay, I'm going to use my Maize chalk paint. I'm going to use some more of these stencils from Essential Stencils. And then I love this charger, you guys. I love blue and lemons together. I might do one more video with lemons and add blueberries to it because I love those combinations. But anyways, I'm going to start off by using one of the stencil brushes that Essential Stencils sent me, and it worked great, but I think I should have painted the middle of this charger white because it is kind of hard to read. Not only that, when I started stenciling, I forgot to wipe off my brush and I just started, so it made it a little, it bled just a little bit at the top. So yeah, anyways, I was too tired to try and fix it. I hot glued some more of those lemons on, and then I took some of this ribbon. This ribbon, I think I might have got at Hobby Lobby. I've had it for a little while. I'm hot gluing the ends together. I'm taking this ribbon I actually got at Sam's Club as well. Hot glued it together, and then I put them together and tied them together with some more twine. The bow's kind of big. I was like, oh man, this is kind of big for a bow. Yeah. Anyways, I took some more of that lemon ribbon and I hot glued it in the middle. And I was just like, you know what? This bow's just, it looks too funky because it's too big. So I took a lemon and put it in the middle instead. Then I took some of the ribbons here and I'm just making tails and I'm just hot gluing them in place just like you see there. I felt like it needed tails. And so I just did it this way. And then I added the bow. Like I said, you guys, I did my bows differently. Oh, anyways, I did dovetail the ends. And then after that, I just took some more of these beads, added them to a hanger, and then I'm going to hot glue that to the back of my charger. And that's all there was for this one as well. Like I said, not my favorite. So I might do another lemon. You have to let me know. Would you guys like to see another lemon video or even another bee video? Because I still had more ideas. So maybe if I'm more awake and not so busy, I'll be able to produce some that I really like. So let me know in the comment box if you'd like to see more lemon and bee videos. Okay, so here's the final reveal of my bee DIYs, and you will see a final reveal of my lemon DIYs after this. So again, guys, if you hung in there and you're still here to the end, leave me either a bee or a lemon emoji. Thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate you all sticking it out with me. And then make sure you guys check out Jackie. If you don't know who she is, you are going to love her. She does amazing stuff. I love watching her all the time. And make sure you subscribe to her. Give her some love. Let her know I sent you. And then again, I will be back on... I was going to be back on Monday, but after this video, I need a couple of days break. So I'm going to try and have a video Tuesday, if not for sure on Wednesday, and then I will have another one again later in the week. So with all that, you guys, enjoy this final reveal. Make sure you check out Teddy Blake as well. And with all that, you guys, have a blessed weekend and a blessed Easter and a blessed week, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.